Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel Living in Oregon. I'm your host Seth Marchant, and today I want to show you what I think is one of the best places to live in the Portland metropolitan area. This is a great place to live really for everybody, for retirees, for families, for the youngs, really for everybody in between. So I want to walk you around this area. I want to show you some drone footage and just get you overall acquainted because and specifically, if you're thinking about moving to the Portland suburbs, this will be the video for you. Stick around. All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel Living in Oregon. Or if you're new to this channel, Living in Oregon, and you want to see more about what it's like to live here, make sure and subscribe. We release new videos every single week. We've got videos covering most of the neighborhoods throughout the entire Portland metropolitan area. Lots of drone and driving footage to really give you an idea of what things look like here. And today, like I said, this is one of the areas that I think is the best place to live in the Portland suburbs. And I'm showing it to you because I'm not exactly going to find this area online or in a quick Google search. I'm sort of defining my own area, actually. I did actually do a very similar video to this about a month ago on the other side of the river. So if you like this area, you'll probably like the other area on the other side of the river. But there are some small differences, specifically price, and I'll get into that towards the end of the video. So where am I at? This area that I'm going to define actually goes into two cities, but it's mostly going to be in West Linn. Covers a couple different neighborhoods, Bolton and Robinwood. And how I'm defining this area is there's a highway called Highway 43. If you go from the Abernathy Bridge that goes over the Willamette towards Oregon City, and you follow Highway 43 all the way to Lake Oswego, that strip of land east of Highway 43, so we use the Willamette River and the highway sort of as our boundaries. That strip of land is where I'm at right now and what I'm going to talk to you about today. And I'm defining that entire area, including two different cities and a couple of different neighborhoods, because it's really all kind of the same. It's got kind of the same vibe. There are a lot of different types of houses there, and definitely going to find some different price points. And I will get into that towards the end of this video, but in general, this area all kind of has the same feel. It's very flat. We are by the river, as you can see, like I mentioned. Very, very wooded. You're not going to find a ton of new construction here. So a lot of the development here was decades ago. So you've got a lot of big mature trees, as you kind of see as I'm walking by here. And you know, that's a big selling point for a lot of people, especially moving from outside of the state, from places like Texas, California, Arizona, you know, places that don't look as green. A lot of people are moving here specifically just because they want to be just around more green. And this area is really as good as it gets in the Portland metro. We're also just about 15 minutes from Portland, and the drive isn't too bad. I will say, if you are listening ODOT, Oregon Department of Transportation, we do have a fair amount of complaints about Highway 43 along the stretch of West Linn. Feels like it could use a little bit of work, but once you get into Lake Oswego, it's fine. The traffic is usually not that bad. It's actually one of probably the better drives getting into Portland, in the Portland metropolitan area. So you've got great proximity here, and like I mentioned, going to be good for everybody. If you're a retiree, it is very quiet here. Very quiet. Probably noticed that. Why is it so quiet here? Well, if you look at a map, you're going to find that we've got a lot of dead ends, a lot of circular roads, a lot of cul-de-sacs. There's not a whole lot of through traffic here. So the people that live here enjoy a very, very quiet existence. Also, if you're not familiar with the Portland area, and maybe you've heard about Portland on the news, maybe you've heard a little bit about crime, maybe you're worried about that, this area that I'm in is actually the lowest crime city in the state of Oregon. The state of Oregon, that's right. Not Portland, the entire state. Some people are surprised to find that there's a couple of cities in the Portland metropolitan area that are actually the safest cities in the state of Oregon. A lot of people, I think, that are watching the news think that all of Portland is, you know, sort of in the same state. Well, Portland resides in Multnomah County. we're in a tri-county area. West Linn, Lake Oswego are in Clackamas County, and you have Washington County as well. Washington County and Clackamas County are sort of the suburbs, and they are distinctly different from Multnomah County. So if that's something that you're worried about, not gonna have to worry about that here, especially if you have kids. This is a great place for kids. The schools are top rated. There's 2 primary schools here, both highly rated. There's 1 high school for West Linn. If you are on that little northern strip that I mentioned, east of 43, once you get into Lake Oswego, you will be in the Lake Oswego School District, which is also very highly rated. The shopping and amenities here are also pretty good. We have a Market of Choice just right down the street from where I'm at. If you're not familiar with Market of Choice, it's sort of like a health food store that's locally owned. There's about a dozen of them throughout Oregon. Right across the street, we have a Walmart for some budget groceries. There's a New Seasons up the street in Lake Oswego, as well as a Whole Foods, and there is a Trader Joe's and a Zupan's. Zupan's, if you're not familiar, is they bill themselves as a luxury grocery store. The Zupan's and the Trader Joe's are just about 15 minutes away. That'll probably give you about as many grocery shopping options as probably anywhere in the Portland metropolitan area. And of course, we've got a ton of great restaurants. There is a really great downtown, old town that West Linn has. It's about 5 or 6 minutes away from this stretch of West Linn, so it's close by. Recently renovated, so it's got a little bit of a facelift. The food carts are new there, are very popular. And of course you have Lake Oswego, just minutes away to the north of us. So if you want to do some shopping there, you've got that option as well. And so I am currently walking through, if you're wondering, the Robinwood neighborhood. And so I am currently walking through the Robinwood neighborhood. If you look at a map, there is a very large park. There's a lot of parks around here, but there's it's about 128 acres, Mary S. Young Park, that separates the Bolton and Robinwood neighborhoods. But like I said, those areas, those neighborhoods really all kind of have the same feel. There are a lot of other parks sort of sprinkled out throughout this entire area in between those neighborhoods and beyond. If you're wondering, I'm currently in the Robinwood neighborhood, and I'll show you some drone footage of that first. But like I said, we'll get to Bolton too, show you some drone footage of Bolton. There is one big park, it's 128 acres, Mary S. Young Park, that separates those 2 neighborhoods. But like I said, really the same feel. Now, as far as the housing goes here, I mentioned that there is kind of something for everybody. It's mostly single family homes, but you can find some apartments, some attached homes. And the housing here isn't exactly cheap. It is cheaper across the river in Milwaukee, where I mentioned it's very similar, that I did a video for about a month ago. But I will say this, average price points in Portland are around the mid 500s, and you can find homes for that in that range here. Even right now, there's 2 homes on the market that are like mid 500s. Those homes are typically going to be older homes, not necessarily homes that need a lot of work. I did take a look at the details, and they were move-in ready homes. So these aren't homes that need a ton of work, or that won't finance if you're doing a conventional loan. So in a way, you can pretty much find something for everybody, from starter homes to one of our most famous and beloved trailblazers still owns a home here. Waterfront, of course. So all of those waterfront homes are going to be at least 7 figures. A lot of them are going to be the multi 7 figures. And then we do have a little bit of new construction, not much like I mentioned, but you can find everything between 100-year-old homes at starter price points to what people would consider like luxury multi-million-dollar mansions. So if you're wondering what is the difference between prices here and the other side of the river, it is a pretty significant difference. The data that I'm showing you is sales data from the past 6 months, and there were quite a few more transactions on the other side of the river in Milwaukee. So that's probably going to give us a little bit more of an accurate idea of what price points are like. Didn't quite have the same amount of transactions on this side of the river, so averages might be off a little bit, but that's roughly about what you can expect. So I guess you might be wondering to yourself, looking at those different price points, is it worth it? That's hard to say. I've lived in both areas, and there's not a great difference. there might not be as much of a difference just living in your day-to-day as it reflected in the actual sales data. So if you do like this area and maybe you're looking for a little bit more inventory, a few more options, you might look to the other side of the river in Milwaukee. So to recap, quiet, close, great proximity, river access, tons of things to do, parks, great schools, amenities, shopping, really kind of everything that you could want. That's why I think this is one of the best places to live in the Portland metropolitan area. If you have more questions about this area or anywhere else in the Portland metro area, including in Washington and Vancouver, we're licensed there as well. Again, my name is Seth Marchant, licensed broker in the state of Oregon and Washington. I'd be happy to help. I invite you to call, text, email if you have questions about moving here. And of course, if you just want to learn more about what it's like to live in Oregon, make sure and subscribe to this channel. If this video helped you, give me a thumbs up. Lets me know I'm doing a good job, and feel free to comment with questions. These videos are really made for people that don't live in the area, don't know the area that well, but of course people that live in the area sometimes do watch these videos. So if you live in this area, feel free to weigh in. Let me know what you like about this area, anything that people might not know about this area that's helpful, because that's the kind of information that people are typically looking for. And until next time, take care, everyone.